Good morning, good morning, good morning, and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We're live in the Carnation studios, and as always, it's wonderful to have your company. We've got some serious updates for you. We launched yesterday with the Held Dear collection. You're going to need to get ahead of us. It's 240404. It's a huge collection, but we have already got 75% gone. Only 25% of the stock is left. I don't think it's going to last, so I'm just letting you know you need to shop ahead of us. It's been crazy, but you obviously know what we do, which is this. It's an insanely good collection. So well done to you all. Some of you are going to have it in your hands either now or later on today, which is really exciting. We also have an extra card shape for you, which is the Tiara topped card shape. Absolutely gorgeous. And we will go through all of these. That's 240411. Now, the big news on this is that we are now at limited stock. There's very little left. You do need to get ahead of us. We don't know when it's going to be restocked. All we can tell you is if you miss out, you will have an extra chance on Hobby Maker on Friday, but Carnation won't have it. So once it's gone with Carnation, and it'll go today, that's the last chance with them. If you want to grab it on Hobby Maker on Friday, you might get the chance again. I think it's going to sell out quickly there as well. So there's not a lot of wiggle room on it. So grab it. It's an amazing card shape, and we'll explain why in a minute. Now, also added to this collection, we've got the perfect papers, as you would always expect from Carnation Crafts. 240412 for the most beautiful, vibrant set of papers ever. They're gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and they go with this collection in the most perfect way, ironically. 240412, $14.99 today, $2.95 UK P&P. Now, to make your life easier, we've included QR codes at the bottom of all our screens there. So the little graphics that you see on the left-hand side, there's a QR code. All you need to do is scan it with the camera on your phone. It'll take you directly to the product, so you don't have to mess around looking for anything, and you can get it straight from there. So that's my advice. It'll make it quicker for you. It's a much easier process. However, for those of you who are like, no, just go to the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. When you do that, you can find the product. Now, Held Dear, the big collection, will be on the banner of the Carnation website. And at the minute, you'll be able to click that and go straight to it. However, if you're watching this in a year's time, you might want to type in the number 240404. As it stands today, because it's launch week, you're going to get that at a show price of £119.99. It should be £134.99, but you are going to get free UK P&P. It's so big, this collection. It's full of gorgeous glassware jars. It's got the little animals in there. So you've got your bunny, you've got the mouse and the hedgehog. You've got some insanely beautiful florals, which are very elegant, the sleek florals. Your fanned flourishes, which are stunningly beautiful. You've got a huge set of butterflies there, which absolutely go with every card you make, which is always nice to have. And then you've got your Happy Mail, which was super popular yesterday, the little envelope and the piece of paper that tucks in, so you can make all of these glorious detailed cards, and you can see some of them on your screen there. So just once again, 240404. If you find it easier to use that QR code, please do. But as we said, the website is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and you can go straight there to pick up the collection, but we don't have much left, so you're going to have to move and shuffle very, very fast in order to get it. Now, that collection, Held Dear, why is it so spectacular? What is it about that collection, and what's made everybody jump on it? Well, it's because it's sublime. Your artwork's free. So if you're brand new to Carnation, you're sat watching me going, who's this woman? Well, we're delivering you some dies today, and we've got some gorgeous artwork to go with it. So we've got these beautiful glassware jars for you. This is your cherished glassware card shapes. Why are you laughing? Because they're looking at the mad woman on the television.
Yes, it's just who is this woman?
Who's this woman on my television? It's me. Hi. So you've got your cherished glassware. It's massive. This is one die set. Like, It's huge. You've got the great big jar. You've got the slender line bottles. You've also got on it there your large, tall sort of, it's more of a jar, isn't it? But same sort of principle. You've got the lower neck and then your sort of apothecary jar there. You've also got your little, it's almost like a vase, isn't it? That kind of element to it. Then you've got all of those tags going through as well, which all have a punched out hole in them, or these three do, so that you can tie string through them and they can become something that hangs off your glass jar. Now you're more than welcome to use the rope piece here to go round those jars to give it that kind of rustic effect if you want to, or how you could, if you wanted to, wrap your own string around it as well if you want that kind of realism where you're putting the tag on it. You've got your glass bottle stopper, you've got your string tied string here as well, that beautiful bow line that just sits across and it can be cut to the size that you want. The cork, which will obviously go in if you don't want to use the bottle stopper, and the jar lid. I mean, it's massive. And let's not forget, by the way, the scroll. Are you sending a message in a bottle? It's absolutely beautiful. And when we look at that and we look at the cut line detail that you're getting in here so that you can scope it out the way you want it to be, it becomes insane. All of these jars, you see the wee little red gaps that are here on the board? That's because you've got pip lines cut into them. You can have an animal tucked in, you can have florals tucked in, you can tuck them behind, absolutely, but if you want them showing at the front, they're designed so that you can tuck them in. Every single cut line with Carnation is thought out and detailed. And I forgot to mention, you also get pennies for your jar as well. So that's your cherished glassware card shapes. You can see why it's so expansive. Added to that, we have got your Happy Mail. This is gorgeous. It's been really popular, this die, and everybody seems to have really sort of jumped on the wagon with it because we can do various different things with it. Again, it's got cut lines that are appropriate. So I can just tuck my finger into there. I've got a cut line here that I can delve into. You can just see where I can push that down. That allows me to tuck anything into it, including my little letter here, so I can stamp onto that as a sentiment holder. But I could theoretically put in a gift card, I could put in a little letter, I could put in a note, I could score it along here and actually close that envelope, and there is a finished sample somewhere with lots of those piled together with a pile of string, so it looks like a bundle of love letters. You've got your wax seal, and then you've got your sticky tape as well, so the whole thing is just glorious, isn't it? And that's a showstopper in and of itself for a card. There they are. You've got your little creatures, your little friends here. So these are your uplifting friends because that's exactly what they're doing. First thing to note is that each one comes with its own matte layer. So that's a separate die. So when we see the little hedgehog here, he's one die and then he's got a matte layer, which is this outline, and that's a second die. What that means is we can make a card in and of itself of just the animal if we want to, or we can raise him up with like a drop shadow, if you like, around him. It's up to you how you play. They've got the plate here so they can hold those plates. They're designed that way. They've got the cheese because cheese is important. It's just very important. And then you've got your carrot. All of these creatures can also be the other way around as well. So if you want to do them doing little headstands, that's absolutely something you can do. So they've got playfulness about them. They're kind of just jolly, aren't they? You're fluttering by. I love these so much. They're so pretty. I think this board, or this side of the board, really interprets very well how much detail you're going to get. I know it can't always show on camera, although I think you're getting some good detailing here. But when you start to look at it and you start to see the work and the intricacy of those lines that have been put in these butterflies, it's really strong, isn't it? And then you've got this colorway that goes through. It's very subtle, but you've got the blue around the wing on this one. You've got the delicate shading on the internal there on that one, and the same goes through here, but it spans out under those wings, so you get that shadow play that you can see on this butterfly. So really subtle colouring, very beautiful, and it can be used any collection you've got. Listen, this can be used on any card you make, can't they? Butterflies being the crafter's mistake coverer-upper. Then you've got your sleek florals. These are stunning, long line, beautiful, graceful foliage stems here. So we can create borders, we can create L's, we can create corners. You can do all of the things with these glorious pieces. And then the most vibrant, wonderful floral heads here. Really pretty. You've got your pinks, your yellows and your purples. These are kind of, they are sort of red, but they're going more into the pink tone. So they're, I don't know what word would describe them best, maybe a fuchsia sort of colour. You've got your beautiful foliage pieces, both small and large. We've got the tuck-ins, and then these 2 leaves, that die. That is going to be one of your biggest bonuses going forward. It may look insignificant when we start looking at those gorgeous floral heads, but when you start tucking that in, the way it fills out those florals is stunning. Your fanned flourishes, these are beautiful. They're just beautiful. You can create corners with these. Obviously, it's dealt out as a corner there. You can add more in to get your semicircle if you're using this one. They're so pretty. Absolutely stunning. Put them in between your florals to create something really textural, really aesthetically pleasing. This one, the taller of the 2, is just stunning. It can be part of an over the edge card as well, which really highlights the card. It gives it a really gorgeous flourish. That's your Held Dear collection. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. 240404, 119.99, should be 134.99, but that is only while stocks last. We were only launched it yesterday. Free UK P&P. So you're going to have to move fast on that, because I don't think stocks will last. Even more so, the next die that we've got to show you is a stunning extra card shape. This is not part of the same collection. It is a separate die, $27.99, $2.95 UK P&P. This is the Tiara topped card shape die set. We're on limited stock on this. Carnation can't tell us when they're going to have it back in stock. As I say, the only thing we can guarantee you is that Hobby Maker will have some on Friday. After that, we don't know. So you need to move before. Don't listen to me. Go and find it on the website. 240411, 295 UK P&P is under the £50 threshold. Use the QR code at the bottom to make your life so much easier. Let's explore that card shape and see why it's been so popular and why it is so incredible. You've got the large card base. That's your white piece here. That's the card base. Then you've got your mats. And then you've got the most stunning filigree layer on top. You can see it coming together. Now it looks like many different things. I know Dave was saying yesterday it reminds me of the Taj Mahal. There's lots of different sort of variations as to how it will appeal. I think if you were to put a piece of card and add it on the inside and do that 4 times, I think it would make a beautiful lantern as well. You could add in your tiny lights. You'd have filigree running through. It'd be really stunning, wouldn't it? So that's something glorious. However, it is 2 card shapes in one, because we also then can use these sort of arched card shapes at the bottom separately. Yes, they work with it. And they are designed to be with it, of course, as well. So you can have them as layers, you can have them as apertures. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. So again, we're changing every time we make a card. There's a new design that we can do with this set, because we can cut into various different pieces. Are you going to use these as apertures? Are you going to use this as an aperture? Which way are you going with it? And because of that, it gives us infinite possibilities, and that's what we want, isn't it? That's what crafters want. We want infinite possibilities. So it's really going to take your crafting to an extraordinary level. There's so many card samples that you're going to make with this. There's so many variations. So that's your Tiara topped card shape. No wonder it's been so popular. It's insanely clever and beautiful to work with. 240411, 27.99, 2.95 UK P&P, but it ain't gonna last. So you need to get ahead of us, because we're already on limited stock. There's not many left.
And we do dispatch quickly.
We do dispatch quickly. Carnation have got superpowers like Mighty Mouse, and they pick, pack and post immediately. The minute your order hits their office, they pick, pack and post your order. And that means that often you'll get yours the next day, whenever possible. We obviously are at the mercy of the postal system, but as a rule, it's sent first class, and we hope that you get it the day after. Carnation are very, very determined to make your experience with them the best experience it can be. They want you to be happy, of course they do, and so they take every effort to make that happen, and that's a joy. As a crafter, when we're spending money, that's a joy. So that's that. Let's have a look at some of the finished samples because they're absolutely stunning. This is where you're going to get your inspiration from, and this is where you're going to see what you can make and what you can create in different variations of where we're going. I just want to show you the difference with that gorgeous tiara topped card shape. There's a little example and there's a big example. Are you going to use it in the small weight like we've got from Barbara here, Barbara Treadwell, or are you going to use the large shape like Lavinia Newton? Because obviously it's up to you, and we hope you'll use both variations. We hope you'll do more than that. You know, that's the joy of having these dies, is how many different types of cards that you can make. I also personally think this is beautiful for Christmas cards. I think it's a really nice shape for Christmas cards, and I can just picture kind of mistletoe and ivy coming down from that top piece, really pretty with, you know, sort of your elements coming through. But this one I just love as a very subtle card. It's very clean, isn't it? Very, very pretty. So you're going to have all of these playways when you get this home, and I'm hoping you're going to be crafting along today, or at least that you've got your vignettes printed out. So let us know if you've got it in your paws, because we love to hear those things. Now I'm going to whip through some finished samples so you can see some different variants of what we've got here. Have a look at how you can be inspired. So this one's from Barbara Treadwell again, and we've got this gorgeous, gorgeous butterfly sitting at the bottom. Butterflies are really important. They're significant anyway, aren't they? They have a lot of symbolism attached to them. Now Nick has designed these so that the body can remain stuck and you can let the wings fly free. They kind of move. It's very, very clever. They're incredibly beautiful. You've got your envelope with your with love down here with that string bow attached to it, and then that bloom of florals behind it. And this, because the color tones in this collection are so clever, because we've got muted tones, haven't we, with the butterflies and the envelope and the letter, and then we've got those blooms, and it really, really pops every single time you use them. And we can create something that's still more pastel toned. With the same collection, we're still on Held Dear. All of these elements are yours for the taking. So you've got that gorgeous, gorgeous sort of idea of the little bunny going into the jar and the little daisy on the head, that beautiful flourish up from Sue Dalrymple here with a sentiment. Easy cards, but they look incredible. If you don't want to use the characters, if you're going to do something that's maybe more of a floral flourish, follow in Janine's steps. Look at that. It's got jewels in there, Miss Taz. Can you see? It's pretty, isn't it? That money jar, that kind of idea of a money jar with those jewels in there, those coins coming through, and that beautiful flourish with those florals. Because every time we play in a different way. If you want to start adding in that gorgeous flourish that I love so much and I've become very, very attached to. Again, Janine gives us another outstanding sample here. Just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Get those flourishes in use. Aren't they pretty? There's something about this collection. I think all of you knew it, didn't you? I think all of you were absolutely, you know, spot on yesterday. You had no surprises there about what was happening. Another sample here. I think I made this one yesterday, but I can't remember, where you've got your aperture in use. I've got so many samples in front of me. I don't know where I'm going with them all. Hold on. And let me just grab. Big blooms, big flourishes. So many aspects that we're going through. Little mouse. I'm trying to find one with a hedgehog while I'm just talking to you because I think I'm in love with him. That doesn't have the hedgehog, but it's beautiful. Look at that. Taz and I were talking this morning. There's not one bad DT sample. Not that there ever is, but they're so extraordinary. I can't find the hedgehog just now. We'll find you one in a second. Look at that. It's testament whenever you're looking through the finished samples. I mean, we know that the DT team for Carnation are extraordinarily talented, so that's no surprise to us, is it? But when you get a collection and you see, first of all of us sort of in the shopping TV industry know that when you get a collection and you get so many card samples from the DT that they couldn't stop playing with it, that's nice. But second of all, when you can look at, I don't know, 100 DT samples and go, they're all amazing. You know the collection's amazing, and everything you make is going to be amazing too, because you can't go wrong. You can't make a bad card with Carnation anyway, but then this, it's so good. It's so good. So while I'm fanning around here, 240404, show price $119.99. You'll get it free UK P&P on this, and don't forget to use your QR code at the bottom for easy access to this collection, so you can go straight to it. But I will just give one more shout out to that Tiara card shape, the Tiara top card shape, because that's just not going to last. So you need to be heading on to the website or using the QR, and you just need to put in the code 240411, Tiara top card shape die set, $27.99, $2.95. UK P&P. Do not wait for this show to end. Do not wait for demos. You can watch this back at any time. But that stock's going to go. So we're just letting you know, because everyone should have a fair crack at the whip. Yes, Mrs. Taz.
Some comments.
Hey,
Comment time. So over on YouTube, we've got Vera Bow.
Hey, Vera Bow.
Who's saying good morning. And then over on Facebook, God, we've got loads of people on Facebook. So Suzanne saying good morning. Yvonne is saying good morning. Joe saying morning. Suzanne, hers has been delivered today. She's had an email saying it's on its way. Carnation crafts are all fantastic. Good morning from Linda. Christine saying good morning. Linda's saying good morning. Rebecca is saying, so excited mine was delivered. Hers has just been delivered.
That's insane. What time is it? 10:22.
She said it 9 minutes ago.
That's insane, isn't it?
That's why I think that limited stock item.
Yeah, you need to get hold of that. It's not going to last. We knew this. We did know this. But we do want you all to have a chance. Where's my other bit of that card? Have I got those stuck together? Yeah, there it is. Right, let's have a look at the Tiara top card shape and some elements coming through here. Now, for those of you who are watching for the first day today, it's either first time or that it's your first day for this launch, we did have 3 shows yesterday. You'll find that on the YouTube channel, which is Carnation Crafts TV. Please do subscribe on that channel. It helps the channel grow, but also it allows you to have notifications when we're going live. It will make sure you don't miss anything. Yes, Mr. Taz.
Sorry, just while we were on the subject of being... Rebecca's was delivered at 9 a.m. and we launched yesterday.
That's pretty canny. When did Rebecca order it? Not that it'll make any difference, because they wouldn't have got the order till Monday morning earliest. So
yes, it would have been dispatched yesterday.
So 24 hours later, you've got it. That's insane. And actually, I will say, genuinely, hand on heart, I don't know many people in the craft industry that do that, because obviously it's cheaper to send it second class, and people cut costs, don't they? So we normally in the craft industry, shopping TV, you wait about a week for your product usually. Carnation, not so. Right, Tiara topped card shape. Beautiful card shape. Look at that. I mean, it's just a perfectly beautiful shape. It's the little details. So the rounding of the top, the rounding of the corners here, and the rounding of the corners here. We may not stop to notice those things, but that's what makes it aesthetically beautiful. Rounded corners, always really pretty, aren't they? And so that's what completes the visual for us. So taking time to sit back from these things and go, oh, that's why, often helps us sort of use it to greater advantage later on. I'm putting that together to create my tent base. Now coming in with one of those perfect papers. Don't forget to add in your perfect papers, because they are your perfect sideline to everything that Carnation do. Every collection that they launch does bring you these perfect papers, and they're a stunning range. It's 300 GSM and you're going to get 48 sheets. It's quite thick. It's a cardstock. It's glossy. It's white on one side, colour on the other. You're going to get these block colours. Then you're going to get pattern pages as well. So you get 6 colour variations and you get 8 of each. They're just gorgeous. And so 48 sheets in total. It'll take you crafting with this collection for a long time. Again, we tend to find that people buy one of these with the collection, so I don't suppose we've got huge amounts of stock of this either. So again, it's one of those things that you need to move on. 240412, show price $14.99, $2.95 UK P&P. And I will say, with the perfect papers, they'll go with lots of different cards that you make as well. Let's just pull these down. So I've got my tab formation. Get this into place. I can't lean over, so I can't guarantee I'm going to be absolutely straight, but I'll do my best. Push and pull. And then that stunning filigree line, if I didn't have glue stuck to it, look at that. I think as well, because I'm using the dossier paper underneath it, as soon as we add white, it starts to bring out the white of the dots below it. We visually see the white more, so you get this gorgeous kind of playway. It's like little dancing fireflies underneath. Let's pop this one on top. Oh, Osmosis does.
Just where you're sticking, I'm just looking at comments over on our socials. So many people are receiving their order today after dispatching yesterday.
Nuts,
so many people are happy that they're receiving this.
It's so nuts that it gets there that fast. Like, genuinely, I think it's crackers, because we're just not used to it, are we?
Well, the most common is happy post. We've got happy post
We've
today.
got happy mail. We've got happy mail in die form, and we've got happy mail in life form. Right, now I'm going to pop this onto here. And I've got choices. Do I seat it down below so I get that big border going round? Do I seat it high up so that I've got the big bottom line going through, which I could then use borders on? Or do I seat it perfectly in the middle? Entirely your choice, and it depends on what you're crafting with and how you're crafting with it. I'm going to be placing mine a little bit sort of lower down, somewhere midway between halfway and the bottom. So just about there is perfect for me, because I just want to give some deference to the filigree at the top. And so if I bring everything else lower down, that filigree is going to shine at the top. So I'm just allowing that to happen. From there, I've got my beautiful vase. Okay. And again, when we were saying about pip marks, if I put my pokey in here just to show you, okay, I can cut that pip mark and it will open all of that up for me and allow me to tuck things into it. And that works really well, because especially with those creatures, and we will look at it, with those creatures, I could tuck, maybe not on this one because it's tiny, but I could tuck a creature behind it, and that's really useful to have. Now, I'm not going to do too much with this, but I'll just shape around the edge so it just lifts slightly to get that shadow. Not too much. Around that bottom element. And through. Pull that forward. I'm just going to put some wet glue down here for when I need it. Get my applicator out so that it's ready, and now obviously I have got my pin flare. You can find pin flare on the Carnation Crafts website. It's a silicone gel glue, and for those of you who've never used it before, it dries over a 24-hour period and it dries like concrete. Because of that, it gives us wiggle room to start with because it doesn't dry immediately, but it also adds that layer of security afterwards because it's going to set solid. Now, the other thing with pin flare as well is it is a sculptural glue. So it's an adhesion that comes out, it's fat is the best way I can describe it. It's, I don't know what the word is really, but it builds and it doesn't sink. So consequently, if I layer it this high and I put something on top of it, which would be ridiculous, but if I did, it would dry in that shape. So it gives us a lot of sculptural ability. So then I've got my little coins here. These I'm going to use as wet glue. I love these coins. And I'm just going to put those through. Now, if they're a little bit big for your jar, can you see mine's just a tiny smidge too big there? Your natural option is to think, well, I'll just lift it higher, but then it's not grounded. So actually your best bet is to just snip, and we're given cut lines to do that. I know that this one is hanging over the edge, and so I can, using Nick's lines, just snip in. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it crack. but it just allows me to do. I can check that again. If I'm still too large, I can take more away, and that's the joy, right? So I know now that by cutting these two off, I should be about perfect. Never feel like you are absolutely stuck with a carnation die exactly the way it appears. You don't need to be. You can snip in, you can pull out, you can do all kinds of things with carnation dies. They're designed to be versatile. They're not designed to trap you. Pop those in just at the bottom there. So I've got that beautiful pot of money. Miss Taz and I were talking this morning about saving money, and that's very, very evocative of what we were saying. Putting that here, I'm just going to use my thumbnail to just mark out, it's a quilling trick, mark out on my paper where I want to snip it, and then I've got a line to follow. And I'm just going to snip. Make sure I've got that where I want it to be. Seems good to me. You could round the edge off of that if you wanted to. Pin it down. And place. So we've got that gorgeous piece coming through. Now I've got the "You Are a True Blessing" on my sentiment here, and so I'm going to use that just to stick down. Now I'm only putting glue at the top. I could have used real string if I'd have so chosen to, or you could use a ribbon. There's lots of different ways obviously of going through. That's just going to seat over the edge. Put my ribbon on top, my string, bow. I love string, you know, Miss Taz. I've got a bit of a fetish for string. I keep it in my drawer all the time in my kitchen and use it for many a different thing. I truss up my chicken with my string is what I do. Right, I'm going to come in with some florals. That's when I make chicken soup. Okay. I truss up my chicken. Right, bring this round and just give it some dimension and shape. And then just place these in. Silicone gel glue, I always find pin flare for florals is really useful, just in order for me to be able to gauge where I want to be and how I want to shape things out. It just allows me to move, to wiggle. It gives me a bit of a breathing space just while I get myself sorted out. So it helps because obviously it's not an immediate connection or adhesion, so I can play. Put those florals just fanned into that corner, so I'm creating that corner element. Always pretty visually. And then I'm going to go in with some wet glue on my two little leaves. These are my new best friends, these two little leaves. I love them. I'm going to place these in and tuck, just like so. So I've got that lovely little bouquet. Now, in order to not ignore the top of the card, not that I want to overdo it, the filigree is enough for me. And I really love the filigree for it, but I do just want to add in one visual element, like a core element at the top, and that's going to be my butterfly. And the reason that I'm not bothered about doing that, or not worried about doing that as far as its detraction is concerned, is because they're so muted in colour. They're very beautiful, they're very soft, very gentle pieces. Don't need to worry about it at all. I'm just shaping the wings a little bit with my pokey tool there, just to give it a bit of dimension. Pull the wings inward, hold them together, put some glue on the body, and then I can place that butterfly wherever I want. Now, your applicators come in handy. If I wanted to attach it to a certain piece of filigree and I wanted to put the glue there first, I can do that with my applicator before I make the decision. But I'm going to find that piece of filigree that's fairly solid, pop my butterfly down, watch his little wings open. Isn't that pretty? They're just going down on their own. I'll speed that up for you a little bit and place him down. So you've just got that visual element where he is. Put him off to a side there. Pretty clean card making. It's a joy held dear is a joy. Like every time I've made a card with this, a demo with this, every time I look at one of the DT samples, I get nothing but a feeling of happy from it. And we are going to show you more finished samples. We are going to go through various different things as we go through, but we don't want to hold you up from checking out. So we're going to give you an opportunity to do that now by showing you a video of all of the DT, or some of the DVT samples, the DT samples, so you can see it all come together. Beautiful, isn't it? It's just really, I was just reaching over a little. It's just a really, really stunning collection. And you guys know how stunning this is. Like, we can tell it until the cows come home. You've obviously jumped on it. The stock limit is telling us exactly what's gone. Are you okay, Miss Taz? She's having a disaster in the corner with the finished samples. It's just been a real pleasure. The whole thing's been a pleasure, demonstrating it, making cards with it, and also looking at what people have been doing with it. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it as well. You're a massive inspiration to Carnation. You're a massive inspiration to me. We get so much out of, thanks Miss Taz, out of what you do and what you make, and seeing those makes is just, because that's why Carnation put the effort in, right? Without you, there's no point to any of this. So the fact that you're putting in your effort and then putting it on the group for us to see, that's what makes it magic for us. So thank you to you guys from all of us at Carnation. Look at these. Just creating height and dimension here. What's interesting about the card that you're looking at there is obviously you've got the 3 jars going through, the tall one, you've got the mid-range, and then you've got the small one at the front. And to make the card base for this, Sue Dalrymple has actually used that archway card. So again, it's just a base. You don't have to have it even as the shape. It's a great base. And so you can use that to build on to get those over the edge cards. And because we have a double-sided, a mirrored vignette, it's got all the joy on the back as well. And that's what makes Carnation unique, isn't it? Look at that. I love that with the money in the corner. That's a nice idea, isn't it? Doesn't have to be in the jar. It can be sat at the corner. Here he is, with his little toe beans. Isn't he gorgeous? So you've got the creatures, they work beautifully well with those florals, with the butterfly. That's got so much of this collection going on in it. The only thing really missing from there as a whole is that glassware collection. So you're using massive amounts of that collection. Even with the small card base, you don't have to limit yourself just to the larger ones. Thank you to Tina for that. And then we've got Janine's here. Simple card making. I love this. Message in a bottle, sending you my love. Sometimes that's all we want to say. Sometimes that's it, just sending you my love. You know, it doesn't have to be over effusive. I'm just sending you my love. He's just ridiculously yummy, isn't he? There's lots with the hedgehog now. The hedgehog's really coming out to play. Different ways of playing. You can see these coming together. You can see how it works. It's just beautiful. Remember your free backing papers. I'll go through the artwork with you when we finish with this finished samples. You know exactly where to go and get it from. These are those bundled letters for you, which shows you how you can use those envelopes in different ways. I know the Happy Mail die was just super popular yesterday. It's obvious why, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous as a card? It reminds me of the photo frames that you used to get for dressing tables, where it had the hinge. Yeah, his and hers, where you had the hinge in the middle. It's got that kind of element to it. It's really beautiful. It's just a wonderful example, and it's from Sue Dalrymple. Our lovely Vera here has done this. I think that's an extraordinary card. It's the mixing and the matching of those perfect papers, green, white, layering up so that you've got this vivid, vivid interpretation on your card, thinking of you and that gorgeous butterfly sitting there. Strong samples here from the DT team. We'd expect nothing less because they're amazing. Lavinia has brought us that hedgehog sitting with that folded piece at the top. I'm about to destroy the set, Taz, just to let you know. Sitting at the top. So you've got that beautiful filigree coming down. Remember, everything has multi-uses with Carnation. Never feel like you're stuck. So you've got all of those gorgeous elements coming through. From that, we can then go into something a little bit more expansive from Janine, where you've got your carrot and you've got everything seated forward. Let me just open that for you so you can see it. Your florals, and you've got your bunny rabbit there. You've got all your elements, and that's been pieced together at the back because you don't need to use, you know, a large 8x8. You can actually piece your base cards together to create something that is extraordinary. All of this at your fingertips. Using Carnation's nested dies here, you've got your crystalline card shapes, which are beautiful because they've got that sort of rugged edge to them, and it lends itself very, very well to those perfect papers. And with this collection, just brings it together, doesn't it? The great thing about the crystalline nested is that you can mess up the edges slightly, so bend them, play with them, sculpt them around a bit, and they really lend themselves in that way to becoming sort of rough and ready. Let's have a look at something simple and clean. Sending you a hug. Sending you a lovely hug. One I did yesterday just to show, and then we're going to go on and do another demo for you. But you've got your two little bunnies here, and they're seated together holding something each, but it just extends that card shape. So it's just an example of how to do that. Now, we talked a lot about this artwork, haven't we? And, you know, for those of you just joining, you might not know where to get that from. So go to the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Normally speaking, at the top of your page, you see the big banner there where it says warm greetings. That was one of our previous collections. As that goes through, and it'll just keep scrolling through, it'll eventually come to Held Dear, and you can press the shop now button and it'll take you to everything for that collection. You also have a search box up in the right top hand corner. You're allowed to then use that, I say allowed, but you know, you can click into that, type in the code that we give you, or you can type in the name of the collection, and it'll bring up everything you need for the collection. On the alternative ways, that QR code. Your artwork here, the one that you're looking for is the one that is on the top row at the far right. Carnation Crafts Held Dear Collection Original Colour Download for free. Add that to your basket and you're going to be able to check out for free. And it's got all of the artwork that you need. You simply print it out on ProPrint paper if possible. ProPrint's going to be your best friend, and that's something on the website. And you'll get these really gorgeous pops of colour with it, and you cut it with your die. You use it on your cards, as I've been doing. Really easy, really simple card making scheme, but it makes things easy and accessible. So just to remind you, the main collection, Held Dear, 240404, £119.99. Usual price is £134.99. I'm guessing it's going to go back to that price at the end of the week. So I would be inclined to make sure you get your discount. As I said, we don't have an awful lot of stock left. Hobby Maker will have some extras on Friday, but after that, I don't know when it will get restocked. You've also got your Tiara topped card shape. We've been using this in demo, and you've seen a lot of samples with it. You know how incredible this is because we're already limited. It's absolutely stunning. There's just not many left. What did you say, Mrs. Taz?
Hanging on by a thread.
Hanging on by a thread is what Carnation are telling us. There's not much left. $27.99, $2.95 UKP and P. To reiterate, Carnation at this point do not know the exact date this will be restocked. So once this is gone, and I think it'll go today, well, I'm pretty certain it'll go probably in the next couple of hours. Once this is gone, the only chance you'll have to buy it is Hobby Maker. That's it. And then we don't know when next. So grab it. £2.95 UK P&P, £27.99, 240 411. Don't forget your perfect papers. Add those into your basket as well. Then you've got the complete shebang and you're ready to do all of the gorgeous crafting. 240 412, held dear perfect papers. Show price £14.99, £2.95 UK P&P. Yes, Mr. Stas.
I'm going to bring some comments in now.
Thank you. It just gives my gob a breather.
So over on YouTube, we've got Mandy who's saying she's received her order an hour ago. She can't wait to start.
Mandy. Is that Mandy M?
Yes. Anna's also said she's just received hers. Catherine, who spoke about earlier, said she's received hers as well.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Over on Facebook, we've got Yvonne, who said that was a stunning card. So did Suzanne. Shadia also said that that was lovely. Sheila saying morning. Debbie said good morning, so excited, just ordered and can't wait for the post to arrive tomorrow.
Ooh, and that's the thing, because you're probably going to have it in your hand tomorrow, and it's a comforting feeling, isn't it? Because we don't always know, and it's tricky to trust people on the telebox because who knows, right? It's not the same as walking into a shop, paying money and walking out with it. There's a trust element involved.
She said that Carnation are the best and the quickest. And then we've got Eileen who said mine is due for delivery within the next hour. My vignettes are all ready to be cut.
I want to know what you're going to cut first. Are you going to cut the hedgehog? Are you going to cut the hedgehog? Yes, Mr.
And then, sorry, just before your demo, we've got a question from Fran who
Fran
says, what is the best card weight to cut the tiara?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I like my filigree to be strong. So, personally, everybody will have a different notion on this. Here's the full answer. The easiest weight to cut it on is 120. It'll cut like butter. It'll go straight through. The logical one is to do it on 170 or 220, sorry, because it'll cut. I like to do it on 350 because I'm awkward, but I like it to be really strong. And so I'm willing to put that through my die cutting machine 3 times if I need to really compress it, because obviously you've got a lot of detail here. And so you're going to have to give your die cutting machine a chance. They can only do so much. And so I'm willing to put mine through 3 times. I'd rather do that with some cut tidy, get that compression and have a really strong base. So it's got to be personal choice. The easiest is 120. It's not very robust. That's the thing. It's a little bit flimsy for me, and I don't like the visual of it. So I'd go the other way. But I'd say your happy medium is 220. That's going to give you a good in between. I hope that helps, Fran. Sorry, I'm funny about paper anyway at the best of times, and I just like to have that element. Right, so I've got my glassware here and you've got your pit marks. So all you're doing is cutting through. Now, to be fair, you can actually cut those pit marks just by using a pokey tool and running it along, and it'll cut through them. If not, use a craft knife. You can pull it with your fingers. You can use scissors, plenty of ways, and you're just going to end up with that jar being open. Your jar is a jar. Okay, so you've got that gap. And I'm going to use that as my baseline here, and I want it to be open. Now, I want to do something with it. So the last thing I want to do is glue that top piece, because I'm not going to be able to do anything that I want to do with it. I also know that I want to have something tucked, so I'm just going to be canny about where I glue at the back. So what I'm going to do here is just make sure I place it about just over midway, and then in those bottom corners, one in the middle for good measure, and place down. Just trying to allocate that smoothly there. Yes, Mr. Stas.
Just while you're sticking quickly.
Yo-yo.
Pam is in the house.
Hey, Pam Simpson, you lovely floral human.
And she says she uses the 350 GSM as well. Her machine cuts it first time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Mine doesn't, but mine's very old, my machine. And my plates are not the best, I have to say. It depends as well how many shims I use underneath it, because I use cardstock as shims. I don't use the proper shims. So I'm just willing to put it through a few times, make sure it's cut, because obviously I'm watching serial killers on telly, that is not in real life, and so I just shunt it as I'm going, and I play with it that way. It's whatever comfortable for you, but I like it to be solid. 120 to me just feels flimsy. So just placing small elements here. Just on those little areas. Remember to use your applicators. And we're just going to corner that out. So a lovely little visual there. I'm so in love with those flourishes. They're so pretty, aren't they? So we've started the baseline. We've got your corner going through. Everything is starting to build. Now I've got lots of cheese here because, you know, it's cheese. And so I'm going to start laying some of this down. I'm going to use a little bit of pin flare, but I'm going to be careful where I place it because obviously the cheese has got holes. One flat at the bottom. And then got one just overlapping, building up, leaving some of that flourish so it can be seen. It's the Leaning Tower of cheese. And then one more. Just placing up. So we're almost building this stairway of cheese. Oh, it's delicious. Then, my naughty little Mishka is coming in to steal the cheese. So, with him, I'm going to just lift the jar lid, place him through, grab his hands, pull him down, get his tail, stick it over, and he's hanging on by his tail because he's a very naughty little mouse. And so then I can use my glue applicator and ensure that adhesion there. So just pin him. You can actually, once you've pinned his tail, you could theoretically leave him loose. There's no real reason to be sticking him down because you get that lovely movement on the card. But especially if you're posting, you're probably going to want to just make sure he's a little more secure. So I'm just going to put a little bit on his tummy, lay him through, and that's got him exactly where I need it. He's going to go in and steal that cheese because he's a very, very naughty mouse. I'm going to take the jar lid and I'm just going to put it off the edge as if he's moved that lid and it's just sort of leaning. Yes, Mr. Towers?
Do you know what you could use with this theme
Go on.
of the big cheeky mouse? The little mice that have the rope and the stairs.
The little...
Is it the rascals?
The rascals, and you've also got the ones from Crafty Little Things as well. Is that the rascals? Where they're doing all the different elements, and some of them have got the builder's hat, and that's Crafty Little Things, where they're building up and being very naughty. I love them. I think they're just so cute. Right, let's add in just a little bit of floral detailing just on the side. I'm not going mad with this. I don't want too much in it at all. I'm just going to put the little leaf here. Just on that edge. So I'm cornering over the cheese. Again, things you never thought you'd say live on television. Floral on top. And a little daisy in her hair. And then finally, a little bow round her neck. Naughty, naughty little Carnation mouse. Stealing all of the cheese. Just cute as a button. I love this collection because, for want of a better way of phrasing it, it's got the very sweet, lovely, whimsical element to it. But it's also got the more serious elements to it as well. So your crafting is all occasions for all things, and it can be whatever you want it to be sorry, I was just reading the board there. I've just been told by Miss Taz 80% of the collection now gone, so there's just not much left. And the Tiara card, there's only 5% left, so very few of you are going to be able to get hold of that now, so I do apologise. If you want to go try and get ahead of everybody else. Go for it. We may have 1 or 2 left in the next show. We're back again with you at 12. I can't see it, but let's see how it happens. In the meantime, between now and when we come back at 12, I have a very strong feeling that you are going to have, well, there's going to be more of you with this in your hand. Come and craft with me. I'll see you at 12. We'll look at some more inspiration. Until then, get a brew, stay safe, and be good to yourself. I'll see you in an hour. Take care. Bye.